when you're in the shower, are you really in the shower? I know that seems a ridiculous question, but where is the mind? Is it racing off to the day ahead, to the meeting, the stress that's going to be happening at 10 o'clock in the morning, or are you ruminating about something that's happened, the night before, or are you really noticing that the pleasure of, the water on the body, the smell of the soap, the temperature, are you really present? And when we're able to be really present, we create so much energy in our life, and our life becomes a lot fuller and richer and deeper.
So it's taking those moments to not only live and experience, but enjoy our present.
Well, sometimes the present isn't enjoyable. Have you noticed?
Oh, yes.
So a little stressful even now, in being in this interview. I can feel my heart racing a little, and I'm feeling a little stressed. But the good thing is that we're able to really be in the present, and we have emotions, even if they're strong ones and a little bit unpleasant. They're really important because they tell us what we really need and how we can protect ourselves and what's good for us and what's not good for us. And if we numb off to those sort of feelings in the present moment, odds are we may also be running the risk of numbing off to some of the wonderful emotions and wonderful experiences that life brings us in the present moment, which, as John says, is the only moment that we really have in this life.
Alison, you talked earlier on about the mindfulness-based stress reduction courses. If somebody feels that this would be beneficial to their lives, or whether it be their personal lives or, as you said, corporate lives, what sort of thing would they expect from a course?
This is a wonderful program with all respect to meditation courses. It's not just a meditation course. Meditation is a form of mindfulness, but mindfulness is much, much bigger than that. This is a program which runs over 8 weeks for 8 sessions on a Monday or a Wednesday. We have a full-day retreat of mindfulness, which is a silent retreat, incidentally, which can be very interesting and stressful for some people initially, but they love
I'm putting my hands up for being stressful on that one. Mind you, a lot of my friends would love to see it.
Well, it's amazing, Sally. A number of people that do come into the retreat can be really quite anxious. How am I going to be quiet for that length of time? I can't remember a time in my life when this was so, but they often come out of the day feeling it very worthwhile. But coming back to the program, we teach mindfulness meditation, and gentle stretching and body awareness. So when we get in strife in terms of the suffering that we can endure in the West, it can often be because the mind races off to some drama or excitement. So really teach people to come back and notice what's happening in the body, like my heart racing a little bit now. We also look at exercises to recognize and work with difficult thoughts, annoying thoughts, challenging emotions, and some of the sensations that accompany that. And we also talk about the relevant science and how neuroscience particularly is recognizing that this actually changes the brain. Because mindfulness uses the brain to change the brain.
And of course, one of the fundamental concepts is not to ignore the thoughts that you're having. If you're having, as you were saying, unpleasant thoughts or something that is giving you that physiological response that is particularly upsetting or stressful, but rather to acknowledge it and work with it and just move through it.
Yes, wonderful. But what happens is we can have an event in our life that's not so good, and we experience all the uncomfortable thoughts and feelings and sensations associated with that, and then usually the mind will come in and try and make some sense of it or fix it or numb it or block it out. It's wonderful, the mind is so protective, but sometimes it can make things worse. So mindfulness is with kindness and care to ourselves, really accepting what's arising in the present moment, even certain thoughts and feelings that we have. Not even actually, inverted commas, doing anything with it, but just experiencing it in a particular way, which we teach a lot more deeply in MBSR, as a way of possibly changing our relationship to those thoughts and feelings and to that stress that we experienced in everyday life.